Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Merry Christmas! I am a little bit in the spirit again this week. I've got a shirt on that my sister made on the cricket, and it says, "In a world full of Grinches, be a Griswold." So be a Griswold this Christmas. I hope you're having a lovely, safe, happy, fun time with your friends and family. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve, so we're getting ready today. Last minute little preparations. We're having a ham and some duck fat roast potatoes tonight. We'll watch some Christmas movies, maybe Die Hard. Yes, it is a Christmas movie, and maybe some carols. And then tomorrow morning, we'll have a lovely fancy breakfast. We've got bacon and eggs and caramelized bananas and yogurt. So that will be fun while we open the first round of presents. And then my mum and dad will come up to the farm as well, and we will have lunch with them. So next week I can let you know how our Christmas went, and I think I'll do a little bit of a review, rewind, look at 2021, and potentially some thoughts about what's going to happen in 2022. This week I decided to move the sheep from their paddock here by the shed to an enclosed area that we have where the clothesline is. The grass in there was getting quite long, and it's actually quite a difficult area to mow. It used to be my grandparents' backyard. Their house used to be there, and that's why the clothesline is there. So it's sort of like not very close to the house. And it also has a water tank with a tap in it as well. So it's an easy spot to be able to add water for the animals to drink as well. So I wasn't sure if they'd be okay in there because it's right beside Nassie as well. So I was a little bit tentative to begin with. I sort of took them in there. I said hello to Nassie first, and then I took them in there and stayed with them for a little while to just see how they reacted and how he reacted. And he was totally fine. Obviously, it's just in his nature. He's been in with the goats for quite a while now, and he takes care of the chickens. So that sort of livestock just automatically he is comfortable with and happy to have next to him and look after them. I also think it helps that since Hurley was very little, I was walking him past Nassie, and also I would go pat Nassie after I'd been with the sheep as well, so he was very familiar with the smell as well on me. So they've been in that paddock for the past week now, just eating that grass down, which is starting to get down. It took a little while, but they've been doing a really good job. Their paddock has started to dry out. They have eaten it quite a bit, so it was good to give it a little bit of a rest, and to give them somewhere else that they could sit. There is a lot more shade in this clothesline area. Because it used to be the backyard, it's got some trees and plants that sort of are higher and more established, and they can sit next to the tank, which is obviously very cool. So that's been good for them as it started to heat up. They will go back into their paddock probably next week. So I have bought some hay to supplement their grass eating as everything starts to dry out. They've got plenty of water in there, and I have been sort of watering a little bit of the grass area that's been in the shade to hopefully get that to grow up a little bit while they're not eating in there. And then I can sort of switch them back and forth between those two spots, maybe even into the chicken yard a couple of times, just to break up their eating of one particular area. And also by putting them in that clothesline spot, it means that we didn't have to mow it. And as I said, it's one of those tough spots to mow. It's got an old incinerator cinder block in the way. There's sort of two gated areas. It's got some concrete, and then of course there's the clothesline in the middle. So there's sort of all these things to contend with. So you kind of have to do it with a combination of push mower and whippersnipper. It's really difficult to do on the ride-on. So to have the sheep in there and getting the nourishment out of it rather than it just being cut has been really good. So last Saturday was my 2 sock classes at Unwind, and I'm really pleased with how they went. And I think that the participants were pleased too. There were some frustrating moments, I think, during the class, sort of seeing people learning a new technique as an adult, which I totally understand because I've taught myself how to spin and how to do other knitting techniques. And it is hard to learn something new as an adult. So it's sort of taking that little bit of extra time and knowing that it is going to work out. And everything sort of started to click with people. And then they were like, oh, wow, this is great. I'm going to be able to knit myself socks. I totally get it now. This is really good. So I'm so pleased with how they went. There were people who came into the shop and were interested in what we were doing and wanted to sign up for classes. And there was already a wait list from people who weren't able to change their dates to the rescheduled date that we were able to fit in before the year ended. So there will hopefully be some more in the new year. We're just got to look at the diary and try and get some of those locked in. And it was really good to meet some people in person that I had been connecting with via the YouTube channel and my Instagram account and via the Zooms that we'd been having with Unwind over the lockdown period. And also to catch up with some people that I had already met in person, but to see them again and for them to come to my class was really great as well. One of those people was Mel from Mel Stitches, and she bought me a really amazing sock bag that she has sewn. It's got 2 pockets on this side, and what I've been doing is putting my balls of yarn in here when I've been knitting 2 at a time socks, and then they haven't been getting twisted with each other. And it's Alice in Wonderland, Cheshire Cat, and there's her tag there. Oh, it's upside down, sorry. And it's got really great drawstrings that you can then slide down so you can really get it closed nice and tight, but it also gives you really long handles to be able to hang it around your arm. So if you wanted to walk and knit, you'd have plenty of room. Opens up really wide and it's got a really bright fabric on the inside. So it's beautifully made. I know she's making this size and a smaller one. And she was also showing me some needle keepers that she was making as well. So it's a strip of fabric with press studs and you put your needles tips inside and it stops your knitting from coming off. So I'm probably going to get in contact with her and get myself at least one set of those as well. So if you're looking for some bags, check her out. I've also been preparing my shop for the new year this week, doing a little bit of tidying up of some listings, just double checking everything and adding all of my sock sets to the shop as well. So having fun choosing combinations of 100-gram skeins and 20-gram mini skeins as contrasting heels, toes and cuffs for socks. So there will be quite a few of those listed up in the shop. So check those out. I'm really happy with the way that my colours have all come together and how there is a real pop of colour, but that it still fits together and makes sense and isn't really clashy. So I hope you enjoy those colour combinations, and I will be looking to do some more of that in the new year, as well as getting a lot of my repeatable colours dyed up and ready to ship, but I will also still keep everything on as a dyed to order. So if there's a repeatable colorway that I don't have in stock right now and you want some of that, you can get it dyed up on any of the bases that I have available. Well, you very briefly saw the socks that I've been working on in the Mel Stitches bag. I have been doing these 2 at a time. I think this is opal yarn. I didn't have the tag for this. So I've been working on them 2 at a time. I have now turned and done the heels. These I did in just a Peyton's superwash yarn that I had laying around. I'm not too concerned that there's not any nylon in these because I did the heels separately. I can always pull them out and put fresh heels in if I need to, or they'll felt a little bit and they'll be perfectly fine. And I have so many socks that I just can wear them until they run out anyway. So I've only got this much left of the little ball that I had, and I've got this much of the other one. So what I'm going to do is weigh this and use about half of it on the sock that it's connected to. So take the other sock off the needles and then use the other half to finish up the second sock so that I use most of the yarn and that the socks end up roughly the same length. So that'll be happening shortly. The only other project that I have been working on and made significant progress on is my Yellow Brick Rodeo top. I split for the sleeves last week and I took it to Unwind, and then I have been working quite a lot on the body this past week. You can see I've got quite a ways down now. So it's going really well. I did find one mistake though, and I'm glad I picked it up when I did because it could have been an absolute disaster. I found a dropped stitch in the end of the yoke here. I think it was one of the slip stitches, and sometimes I was noticing when I was knitting that some of them I was not knitting properly just because of the way it was slipped. It had dropped down into like the row below, into the pink down here. So I got a crochet hook and I have picked it up as best I can. I've still got it on a holder for the last little bit. So what I need to do is actually pull it up over, see there how it's a large section of the blue and white. I need to pull it up over the top of that and do a little duplicate stitch to just hook it in so it looks the same as these others across here. But I'll wait until I'm doing all my finishing and then I will do that. So I'm probably one stitch short in the body. Not going to worry about that. Honestly, didn't count it when I went to do my increases and put the sleeves in. So that was my fault. I probably would have picked it up if I had done the counting at that point, but you know, whatever. So I'm able to fix it. It will look fine. No one will know except me, and it is on the back. So even if it looks a little bit funny, you're not going to see it when I'm wearing it, you know, in front. But it is looking really great. I'm so happy with my color combination here and with how it's knitting up. So because it is so mindless and round, it's been super easy and super quick. So I should have some more significant progress on that next week, given that there will be some slobbing around sitting time after lots of festive eating. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye. Merry Christmas.